And action! Welcome back to another episode of Written and Directed by. I am Harrison Berger, and today we are facing a different direction on the podcast. And that is because I'm trying something new. I'm not really sure how this is all gonna play out, how it's gonna go. It really wasn't all that thought through. So, we're just gonna kind of wing it and hope that all goes well. You guys can actually see, if you're watching, you can see in the bottom left corner there my painting, or camera left, or I don't know how you guys see it, but down there you can see part of the turtle painting. I just got back from San Diego, sunburnt as hell. My whole chest arm situation are all sunburned, so it's been fun. So yeah, today what I am attempting to do is like a new series, if you will, and I think that if this works out, that maybe I'll keep doing it. And what I'm doing today, is doing a bit of writing. We're gonna do some writing and planning of this this screenplay that I'm writing. So I don't know exactly how we're gonna do it, or how I'm gonna do it, but I figured, why not just go for it? So this is just to give you some background, because I've already started working on this a little bit, but this is a story about a guy in like his early 20s, mid 20s or whatever, going through some shit. He's kind of lost in life, or whichever part of life he's in now. He is slightly lost. He's not sure what to do. There's a lot I haven't worked out yet, but that's the basis of it. There's just, he's in a space where he's not really sure how to fulfill his dreams, and he doesn't know if what he's doing is what he's supposed to be doing, and he's lost, and everything is just, not going to plan, if you will. So the idea is that he kind of has an idea, like he starts to break down emotionally. He has like an emotional breakdown, and then he decides to go on a journey, like a little like single vacation. He decides to get in a car and drive to the woods, or to like a little desert area by himself, just to kind of get in touch with his inner self, with some spirits or something. Someone, he just needs guidance. That's what he's looking for, whether he finds it himself or someone gives him a sign. So that's the idea. That's what I have so far. It's based on a movie. It's based on I guess the movie's based on a short story, but it's based loosely on the movie Rashomon, and just not the story at all, just the concept, parts of the concept. So Um, right now, what we'll be doing is kind of uh, plotting and going through character and just kind of figuring out what is going to be happening. Um, we won't be writing the script today, but hopefully by the end of this episode, we will have an idea of what we will be writing. Right? So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to start this or if this is gonna work or anything. Um, we'll see. But so what I've already done is I've created some note cards, and on these note cards, they're different color. The note cards are different colors, but on this particular color, I have plot. So in this color, we have, I guess the guy's name is Theo. I named him Theo for some reason. So Theo takes a camping trip. Okay, so that's like the main, like, that's what, like 20 minutes in, he'll decide, you know what, I'm gonna go and go on a camping trip and try to find myself. All right, there's the next one. Theo searches for a meaning for life. So for a meaning to his life. So when he's on, that's gonna happen while he's on the camping trip. Theo, I wasn't even sure if his name was Theo. I guess so. What are the? Oh, look at that. On the back of this other card, it says, "I have little things." I don't even remember this. What is my purpose? What do I believe in? What makes me happy? Who loves me? Am I depressed? I don't know if I want to take it in this direction anymore. I think what I was thinking when I originally came up with this idea that this guy was super depressed, right? And he wasn't sure who he could trust as far as his friends, who who wanted to have him around, if his life was going the way that he thought it should go, if the right girl was in his life, or when that person was going to come into his life. And so I think I wanted to have a character who was like on the edge of, he was like bordering that line of whether or not it was worth it to keep going on. And I don't know if I want to, that's kind of dark now that I'm thinking over it, and like other ideas have come into play. So I don't know if I want to take it in that direction anymore, but it's interesting to see where I started, because I wrote these note cards over a month ago, probably sometime in May. Yeah, probably like the end of May is when I wrote these note cards. So, I don't know. I mean, this is good to look back on. Maybe some of these will play into it. Like, I know, like, this is a big factor. Like, is he really depressed, or is it just a clouded judgment? Or, and what do I do? And like this one, I know what I want, but is it good enough? I want more. Stuff like that. So this is good. Next is Theo is fighting social abnormalities with himself. And what do I write on this one? All it says is Theo might be the name of the protagonist. Cool. Why did I put ab in parentheses? Abnormalities. I don't know. I don't even know what this means anymore. I guess maybe he's just fighting, having an internal battle. I'll just write that down here. Perhaps he's having an internal So those are the plot points, which are fucking nothing. Next, we got story beats. Story beats. Theo takes a trip out, talks to quote unquote spirits about his life. So I had this idea that he would go out into the jungle, go out to the forest, or to like somewhere like Joshua Tree. Maybe he does drugs. Maybe he is super spiritual. Maybe he has one of those, what do they call it? Like a vision quest kind of thing. He goes on like a vision quest, and spirits just start talking to him, or he thinks spirits are talking to him. Nothing on the back of that guy. Next beat is Theo goes on a camping trip to get deep into his feelings. That's the same thing as what I just said. Cool. Theo decides to get away. Why did I repeat these 3 times? Santa Monica Pier intro sets up something is wrong, like in Rashomon. Okay, so with this guy, really, this film has not a whole lot to do with Rashomon. It's just like the idea. Like I'm gonna back up a bit, because this film is first of all, it's gonna be a feature film, and it's not necessarily like a remake of Rashomon or anything like that. It is a movie that has pulled inspiration from Rashomon, okay? And there might be some similarities. Essentially, what I wanted to do was, because Rashomon is based on a play, and it was shot very straightforward, very simply, but yet immaculate and beautiful, because Akira Kurosawa is an amazing and mind-blowing director, so he was able to do that. But because it was based on a play, it looked like it was, like the way it was filmed felt like a play, like most of the time. So what I wanted to do was, I have this idea of shooting a feature in 2 days. And I know it's possible because my buddy Jake, who was on the podcast many months ago, he shot a feature film in 1 day. So I know I know it is possible to do this. So this is the challenge. I don't care if it looks like garbage. I mean, like, I do care, but the idea is not to make the most beautiful film in the world. The idea for me is that I want to see what I can make in a weekend, and I know I can do this. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to shoot a feature. I've been thinking about it a lot, and you can't be a feature film director if you've never shot a feature film. So this is a way for me to do that. Kind of, I hate this term, but like, no, I'm not going to use it. Just kind of get my, dip my toes into the feature film pool a little bit. So I think that by doing it this way, keeping it nice and simple, keeping it to very, very, very minimal characters, as in 1 or 2 main characters that are on screen, and then having a few others surround it, would be perfect. I think it could work. So that's what I'm doing. It's not based, the story itself is not based on Rashomon. There's no storyline that is at all similar. There's just a lot of aspects. That's what I wanted to get apart, or to get across. It's definitely going to be a study as far as intensity as what I can make in a weekend, and as it is also a case study as to how Akira Kurosawa shot that movie. There are a lot of shots that I would like to replicate, just because I want to learn how he did that. Also, I think they're artistically beautiful, so I kind of want to mirror some of those things and just practice making a movie. Um, so the next one is camera shot. So here we go. This is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. Rashomon on trial scene when Theo talks to spirits while he's tripping, quote unquote tripping. So my idea was, so when Rashomon, when why do I forget his name? The samurai that Toshiro Mifune played, he played a like a bandit samurai who attacked a husband and wife. And he is put on trial. He is captured and put on trial. And the entire trial is he's in front of a judge, but you only see him. And there's a monk, and then there's like a farmer. And they're the only three people you see on screen. The monk and the farmer barely do anything, but they're there because they witnessed. They were witnesses to this samurai, or to this bandit's actions, so they were left there as witnesses. But if you're watching this podcast like this, you only see me, right? So that's the idea as far as the play goes, that you only see the performer. You never see the one performer. You never see the judge. You never see the prosecutor or anything. So the idea is that the character is speaking to someone and answering questions and things as if they were being told by a judge or a prosecutor, but you never see those people, so it's left to your imagination. I mean, the dialogue does play to it, so that's the idea here, that when Theo does quote unquote go on trial with these, spirits or himself, that it would kind of be that similar thing. What I'm thinking is that if we go to like the desert, he will probably talk to the wall. And the reason I say the wall, or the cliff wall, is because I had an experience when I was in Israel, when I was at the Wailing Wall, or the Western Wall, that when I touched it, I felt like my grandfather was speaking to me. And I had a full-on conversation with him, and my grandfather at that time had passed away, I think at least a year. He'd been gone for a year or two at that point. And so I felt like he was speaking to me. It could have been him, it could have been someone else, but it, to me, clearly was my grandfather. And I had a full-on conversation, not verbally, but mentally. I had a full-on conversation with him about things I was doing, the way my life, which path to take, and that, he believed in me and things like that. And that's kind of where I'm pulling a lot of the story from is during that period and that specific moment. So that's kind of the inspiration for that wall. So if he goes to the desert, it'll be up against the cliff wall. If it goes to the forest, maybe some crazy ass tree. I don't know. We will find it. Next card is almost a shot for shot of Rashomon opening as this opening, but at Santa Monica Pier. So Rashomon has a pretty crazy opening. It's setting up the setting, the dreariness of the movie. It's pouring rain. It's like a typhoon. And it follows this guy running through it all the way up to the broken down guard gate of Rashomon. So when I say shot for shot, I don't mean actual shooting at a broken down place, but the style of the shots and the lining of the shots and things like that, just to kind of set the mood, because like the tone I'm going for is very similar to the original Rashomon, and aesthetically, that's really what made me want to do it. So that is that. Moving on to emotion. That's what this card is, emotion. Love. So in as far as emotions, these are like what the film will be following. Love. Oh, what's on the back? Love for his work, love for his friends, love for his family, his life, love for the place he lives. Okay, that still tells me nothing. Hate. Hate for his feelings, hate for the way he thinks, hate the way people are, hate for the lack of intimate love, hate for the lack of friends. Okay, see, I don't know. I don't know any more about that. Next one is characters, and Theo is the only character that I have, so. Alright, those are the note cards that I have. I don't know if these are very helpful. I mean, they have told me that I repeat myself a lot, which we all know. That the character's name is most likely Theo, and that I don't know if I want to use what I had already originally. So, So I had imagined that the opening um, would be um, like his one of Theo's best friends or closest friends is sitting on the beach. And so before I was tossing up the idea of this for a while, that maybe this could be a period piece. If I can still shoot it on the beach, but it doesn't need to be at Santa Monica Pier. It could be at any like hidden beach. Um, and I could do it like a Western. Or something like that. I don't know. It's still a possibility. So the opening would be um, uh, 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 um, opening is I'm trying to think of a name for this guy. What would be a good name? I guess it doesn't matter. We can call him Charlie. He'll never be named, but, or maybe not. I don't know. So let's say Charlie is sitting on the beach. Sitting on the beach, he is sad. Watches the waves crash. Alright, so that's our opening shot. And then see, I'm trying to find a name, because the next thing is, we'll leave it blank for now. Blank is either running down the beach or just coming back in. Oops, I did back in from surfing. Drops his board down and sees Charlie. Sad. Asks him, what's up? What's going on? What should we call him, guys? We'll call him James for now. Alright, so we got Charlie sitting on the beach. He's sad. He's just watching the waves. James is either he's doing something, running down the beach, or just coming in from surfing. He approaches Charlie and asks him what's going on. So Charlie tells James that Theo. So this is the thing I've been struggling with. I don't really see, like, the whole my original idea was that he died and he killed himself. But I don't like that anymore. I think it's too dark. I don't want to be that dark. I don't think there's like a reason for it anymore. I don't even know why I would have done it in the first place. Like had the character do that. I think it was just more shocking. I think maybe like Charlie tells James that Theo left the country. We'll just have him leave the country. He moved to Israel. Moved to Israel to find himself. I mean, this is not the exact dialogue that's gonna be happening, but this is I'm basically just getting the general ideas down. Okay, all right, okay, great. So Charlie tells James that Theo left the country and moved to Israel to find himself. So this part takes place well after the everything else. So this is going to be like this opening is essentially after everything else we see in the movie. Just like Rashomon. This is kind of setting up what is to come, I guess. Maybe, let's see, maybe because I'm just going to write this down as well. Maybe because Theo doesn't have a lot of friends. He only talks to Charlie. Well, not that he doesn't have, that he's Theo. It's not that he doesn't have a lot of friends, it's that he's antisocial. Or he doesn't. / he's antisocial. He only told Charlie what happened and what his plans are. Let's see. Oh. Ooh. 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 Something just struck me. Alright, Charlie. Charlie is sitting on the beach with let's just say with Sadie, Theo's ex. She is crying. Boom. And so they're chit-chatting, and then James comes up and asks what's going on, and we'll go to the next page here. So let's do Charlie and Sadie are the only ones who know what's going on with Theo. And they are discussing it. What's his name? James. Alright, so Charlie and Sadie are the only two that know what's happening. When James shows up, they start recounting what went on and what they both know. Cool. So that's kind of how it'll start, and it will lead into the next bit, right? So here's where it doesn't become like Rashomon, because, well, I mean, I guess it could. See, my thing is I don't even know where I'm trying to take this story, right? So I guess that's what we're gonna figure out. Okay, so that's our opening. I guess now we can that's our setup, opening and setup. So that's our opening and setup / setup. And now we can, so that, I don't know how long that would cover. I haven't, we gotta figure that out once I write it. But that would take us into, the point where, like, to the part where we lead up to our inciting incident, which would then be at the point of the story where Theo would decide to leave, right? So what would that be? I'll just call it the lead into the inciting incident. So we can be at Theo's house. I'm gonna bullet point this. Theo's house. He's distraught, depressed, unhappy. He wants to change his life. he's not sure what he wants to do. Well, he's not sure how or what to do. Um, hmm. Let's see. Maybe he gets in a fight with Sadie. Hmm. I don't know how would we get to. We got to get to to the point where he's like, okay, I gotta go. I don't know. I don't know how to get there. Hmm. But anywho, so we have our setup. We have our opening. We know we know where Theo is going, right? We know that he is going on this self fulfilling journey, or the hopes of a self fulfilling journey that will lead him to some sort of that will lead him to a place where he will find what he's searching for. The place where he's going definitely doesn't have what he's looking for, um, because there will be nothing there. What he's looking for is within himself. But in order for him to see that and find that within himself, he has to go to somewhere far removed from what he's used to look within himself, which leads him to ultimately decide that he needs to be in Israel for some reason. And we will find out what that means as we go on. This is fun. I'm not really sure. I wish I had thought out this process a little bit more before I started. But I guess that's the fun of trying to figure this out together. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've wanted to try this. I used to do a similar thing like this when I was drawing a lot. I would do a lot of drawing tutorials. I would try to talk to camera and stuff while I drew, kind of in a podcast style. So I figured, why not try it like this with writing, and then like this is at the core of it, this is a filmmaking podcast, where I discuss a lot of things with filmmakers, and so why not, show you guys the way I write, the process I write. I hope, I feel like you guys need to watch this episode, because I do have visuals. You guys got to see my note cards. You got to see me actually write down some stuff on my paper. So I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but it would make more sense if you watched it with the audio, instead of just listening to it. But I hope this wasn't boring to you guys. I just wanted to try something new. Like I said, this next year of the podcast is trying new things. This is one thing that I wanted to try, but I really wasn't sure on how to do it properly, so I just kind of jumped in and winged it. I think maybe next time I'll have a little bit more structure and idea to it. There's definitely some things I want to try, like this. This is just kind of the test, and we'll see. I'm trying to write a lot more, And so I'm thinking about doing like weekly writing challenges. I'm even thinking about doing possible daily writing challenges for myself, where I just do them. But here, I think maybe once a week. Um, well, not once a week, but like once a month or something. I'll do a video like this style. Um, and who knows? Maybe even next week, I will do another one of these where I write. I do, I can do another one of these. Or who knows, maybe I'll do a drawing one. I'll just chit chat with you guys about stuff. I don't know. Well, let me know what you guys thought. This is definitely not the only writing process. This is definitely not my only writing process. I've never written using note cards before. I've never done it like this. Never done anything like this style of writing. So this is a learning experience for me. I appreciate you guys for being around on this journey. Let me know what you thought. I honestly could keep going and keep sitting here with you guys and doing this, but I don't want it to drag on and be a bore to you, especially since I don't really know what I am doing as of yet. But I thank you for sticking around. If you have, I really appreciate it. There's a great chance that this the progress on this story will be further along, if not completed by the time I do another one of these. Because my idea, I'm going back to San Diego on Thursday, and my ultimate hope for this week is to have written this in this next week and have at least the first draft. Werner Herzog said that you should not take your time on a script. A first draft of the script should be written with haste. Filmmaking is a haste, like a process that should be done with passion and done fervorously, and just so he doesn't believe in taking time in writing. He believes that you should just attack it and be done with it right away. That should take you no more than 2 or 3 days to finish a script. So I'm going to try that with this. That's the whole idea of this one, to see how quickly I can do it and what I can get out of it. So by the end of this weekend, I hopefully will have a first draft of this script. So if you do see another version of this type of video, I will either be further along my process, or I might be right where I left off here. But what was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't even know what I was trying to say. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about this style of video, this specific type of video. Who knows? Maybe if you like it, I'll keep doing it. I'm gonna try it a couple more times, do different things. Maybe not this specific. Where I got this camera top down set up, but we'll do something like this. I definitely want it to feel a little bit less dreary, and I don't know. But this is the first one, guys. This is the first one, so we'll see. I'll try to, I'm willing to try things multiple times and kind of see if it fits the vibe of the group. I definitely want to be more like filmmaking on here, and I think this is a good way to do it. Like I said, I definitely want to write more, so I figured, why not bring you guys along? Could be fun for everybody. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to everything. Follow me on Instagram at Harrison Berger. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Written and Directed by Pod. Follow me on Twitter at Harrison C. Berger, the podcast on Twitter as well. Follow the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere that you find podcasts, you can find Written and Directed by. Thank you so much for watching. Please share it with your friends and family. If you liked what you saw today, let me know. I would love to I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you have ideas for Theo and what's to come on his journey, let me know. I'd love to get some audience input on this. And as always, the link to the call-in is down below. If you'd like to leave a voicemail message, I can play it on the pod. We can talk, and you can send in your feedback on this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you next week. That's a cut.